The latest GTA 5 challenge involving an airplane attempting an instant landing on the iconic Solo house has quickly become one of the most chaotic and entertaining tasks the community has seen in a long time. The challenge sounds simple at first. Fly a small aircraft across the map, avoid obstacles, survive a series of unpredictable mid-air problems, and then guide the plane onto the narrow surface of the Solo house, an architectural masterpiece perched high on a cliff, with barely enough flat space for a vehicle, let alone an aircraft. But as with anything in Los Santos, nothing stays simple for long. Anyone who has tried to land a plane in GTA 5 knows that the physics, the environment, and the unpredictable NPC behavior can easily ruin even the most carefully planned attempt. This update provides a detailed, story-driven breakdown of the entire challenge, the process behind completing it, the unexpected hurdles along the way, and how the final instant landing unfolded in dramatic fashion. The challenge begins at Los Santos International Airport, where the plane chosen is a lightweight stunt aircraft, fast enough to make quick maneuvers but stable enough to have a chance of landing on such a tiny structure. The Solo house, located in the Vinewood Hills area, sits on a raised concrete slab with open views on all sides, and the building itself has a unique design that leaves very little room for error. From the start of the mission, the weather conditions are already a major factor. The wind direction in GTA 5 is rarely consistent, and sudden gusts can push the aircraft away from its intended route. During the first few attempts, the plane struggles to gain stable altitude as turbulence near the city skyscrapers causes unexpected jolts. Passing between the maze of tall buildings downtown becomes a challenge of precision flying, requiring extremely delicate control over the aircraft to avoid crashing into glass towers or clipping elevated billboards. Once the aircraft clears the downtown area, the next obstacle arrives in the form of unpredictable NPC helicopters. News choppers, police patrols, and random civilian aircraft sometimes spawn unexpectedly, often right in the middle of the flight path. More than once, a careless pilot in a police helicopter drifts too close to the challenge plane, causing emergency maneuvers that throw the whole landing attempt off course. During one attempt, an NPC helicopter even crashes into a skyscraper after an AI pathing glitch, sending smoke and debris swirling into the airspace directly ahead of the stunt plane. Debris particles strike the right wing, creating minor but noticeable damage that makes steering even more difficult. As the aircraft nears the Vinewood Hills, another layer of difficulty emerges: the mountain terrain. The range surrounding the area produces constant updrafts, and the shifting wind currents force rapid adjustments. The hillside roads have sudden elevation changes that can create illusions of height, tricking pilots into lowering altitude too early or too late. During one attempt, the plane dips slightly too close to a treetop, clipping a branch and spinning uncontrollably before the pilot manages to regain control only seconds before a crash. The challenge requires threading the aircraft between tight natural pathways, including narrow gaps between rocky slopes that were never intended to be navigated by airplanes. Just when things seem manageable, the game's infamous random events begin to trigger. A police chase erupting on the road below distracts the pilot as sirens echo up toward the aircraft. A truck explosion sends a plume of smoke into the air just as the plane passes overhead, temporarily blocking visibility and leaving the pilot flying blind for a few seconds. Another attempt sees an aggressive NPC in a sports car firing a pistol upward for no reason, which somehow sends bullets grazing the underside of the plane. Even the wildlife contributes to the chaos when a flock of birds spawns directly in the flight path, forcing another emergency roll maneuver to avoid a mid-air collision. Each of these events chips away at the patience and precision needed for a perfect landing. Finally, after navigating through traffic, weather shifts, helicopters, terrain hazards, and spontaneous Los Santos madness, the most difficult part of the challenge remains: actually landing on the Solo house. The structure has a narrow concrete platform with only a small section that is level enough to support an aircraft. Approaching from the west is impossible due to the angle of the hillside, and approaching from the south means fighting against the shifting coastal winds. The most viable approach is from the north, but this requires a dangerously steep downward glide that demands near-perfect control. Each time the aircraft lines up with the house, something interferes: either the descent is too fast, the angle too shallow, or the winds too strong. In one of the most dramatic attempts, the plane comes in almost perfectly aligned, only to have a sudden gust push it slightly to the right at the last second. The wing clips the edge of the house, sending the aircraft spinning sideways onto the property. The plane skids violently across the concrete, loses a wheel, and smashes into the glass panels of the house before bursting into flames. While the attempt technically resulted in the plane reaching the property, it clearly did not count as a successful landing. Another attempt sees the plane descend perfectly until the landing gear catches the smallest edge of the concrete platform, flipping the entire aircraft end over end before sliding off the side of the cliff. The pilot parachutes out just in time but lands in a swimming pool at a mansion several blocks away, leaving the burning wreckage smoking below. After dozens of retries, countless explosions, and a trail of destroyed aircraft left in the hills, the pilot resets one last time and attempts perhaps the most daring approach of all, an instant landing maneuver. Instead of performing the traditional slow alignment, the aircraft speeds toward the solo house at high velocity, then performs a sharp air brake maneuver, cutting the engine power at the perfect moment. The plane tilts downward in a controlled dive, then pulls up just before reaching the house, allowing the landing gear to catch the concrete surface in a split-second precision move. The wheels touch down almost simultaneously, and the aircraft skids forward but stays balanced. A few sparks shoot from the landing gear as it grinds against the narrow platform, but the plane stays on the surface instead of sliding off the edge. The momentum carries it only a few feet before it finally comes to a complete stop. The instant landing not only surprises the pilot but also becomes one of the cleanest and most impressive landings of the entire challenge. NPCs nearby react with confusion as the plane sits perched on the modern architectural structure, completely out of place yet perfectly balanced. After shutting down the engine, the pilot steps out onto the platform and looks over the edge, revealing how razor-thin the margin of error truly was. One more inch of movement would have sent the plane tumbling off the cliff, and any flaw in timing would have crashed it into the front wall. Instead, the landing stands as a testament to persistence, skill, and a healthy dose of GTA-style chaos. The challenge concludes with the pilot exploring the solo house, taking in the panoramic views of the city below. The peaceful moment contrasts sharply with the chaos of the journey, creating a strangely satisfying ending to an otherwise explosive and unpredictable mission. The wreckage of previous attempts is still visible in the distance, burned planes scattered across hillsides, smoke trails rising in places where failed landings ended. But standing on the clean concrete of the house with the successful aircraft parked firmly in place, the pilot finally gets the reward that made all those failed attempts worthwhile. The entire experience adds a new level of appreciation for the depth of GTA 5's physics and world design. Something as simple as landing a plane becomes an unpredictable adventure filled with danger, creativity, and humor. It showcases how even a game that's been around for years can still surprise players with new challenges, and how the community's imagination continues to push the boundaries of what is possible in Los Santos. The instant landing on the solo house will likely become one of those legendary GTA moments that players talk about, replicate, and try to beat with even more outrageous versions. Whether it's landing a jet on a moving truck, parking a helicopter on a roller coaster, or attempting to land a plane on the smallest rooftop in Vinewood, GTA 5 continues to inspire bold experiments and unforgettable stories.